Hi everybody, welcome back to Mindful Monday. My name is Melissa and thank you for giving me your presence. So anyway, today I'm going to be talking about triggers, emotions, food, detox, cleansing and how my first week went. So I have to be totally honest here, this is not my first time doing a juicing cleanse. And when I say a juicing cleanse, I'm not saying that I'm solely living on juice. No, I'm not. And because I would be totally bullshitting you here right now if I told you that I could just go straight onto a juice cleanse, because I've done this so many times before. I know that the correct way for me is to do it all in small steps. Anything I've ever carried out and achieved in my life, I've always taken steps to it. So by adding in a juice a day is the way I start my juice cleanses, and then as I get more into juicing every day, then I'll start to change out a lunch or a dinner into something healthier. Now I also want to add that I would be a fairly healthy eater. You know, I don't eat what I consider healthy. Many of you out there have your own idea of what health is. So please don't feel like I'm judging anybody if I say any of the foods that you currently eat that I don't eat, that I consider that bad for you. I can only go on my own experience and tell you what feels good for me. And also, you know what feels good for you. But anyway, what I will say is that I've been vegetarian 30 years now. I became vegetarian when I was 11. So I have not had meat, poultry or fish. Now, a lot of people would say that I'm vegan, and sometimes I would say, yes, I'm vegan too, because I don't also have any eggs in my diet or any butter. But I have to be totally honest, there have been many occasions where I've had a pizza and there's been cheese in it. So I don't think it's fair to call myself 100% vegan either. Now, even though my diet would be, I would say 95% plant-based, I still, like anybody else, could fall into the caffeine trap or eat a lot of crisps, we call it here in Ireland, or Tatoes. I know in the States you call it chips. And also here in Ireland we call fries chips, so it's a little bit different. So I could also fall into that trap where I'd have fries, we'll say, or I could have chips. So what has happened for me, I've found, is that I've juiced many occasions before and I've had amazing results from it. So this week I knew that I was going to be up against a lot of emotion, a lot of triggers, when I knew I was going to cut out certain sugars and certain fats out of my diet. And also I had fallen into the trap of having, as I say, caffeine. I had started drinking coffees for the past, I'd say, since Christmas actually, which I actually hadn't drank coffee for many years. I had given it up, I think, back in 2007. And it rarely ever passed my lips since then. But I just really found that, we'll say from Christmas right up to now, that my life has been on such a roller coaster that caffeine was something that I just felt I really needed for that extra bit of energy. And if you've been with me since before Christmas, you'll know that there was a lot of flus in my house and the kids weren't sleeping, and then I've just went through a month of chickenpox. So caffeine really was something that I was throwing myself into, but at the same time consciously knowing that really it wasn't benefiting me, because I really don't believe in drinking coffee as much as I was drinking it. I'm talking about I was having 3 to 4 cups a day. Now, there is nothing wrong with somebody out there who likes to have a morning coffee. Now, even though I was not doing that myself, you know, in the past, but I did, as I say, fall into the trap of drinking it. Now, as I say, everything in balance, you know, and it's totally down to the individual. And I just want to say again that anybody who's drinking coffee or anything like that, I don't mean to offend anybody, but I know what's right for me. Now, I think it's only fair as well to go back and explain to you that I've done juicing before, so it's not my first time. And I know the amazing results I got from it. And the reason I'm going back to juicing now is not because I actually want to lose weight. I'm quite happy with my body. I would say, okay, I'm a little bit poochy on the belly, or I could probably do with losing a couple of inches off my thighs, which I should really do a picture of myself standing up so you can get an idea of what I look like. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm a perfect size 10 at the moment. My regular size when I eat very healthy and when I exercise is between an 8 and 10. And for a lot of people, they will think this is very slim, but actually I'm very small in height. I'm only 4'11" in a foot, so I don't know what that is in other countries. I know you do it differently, but here in Ireland we say 4'11" or 5, and basically I'm under 5 foot. And the only person I can think of that can relate to that height is Kylie Minogue. So if you picture Kylie Minogue, you'll know how tall I am. So I'm very, very short. So any bit of weight at all can actually really make me look heavier, which I'm not very worried about, because I know that I'm active enough with my children. But what really worried me was when I felt my energy levels drop. Now, as I say, my life has been a little bit stressful the past few months. My husband has changed 3 jobs. The kids were sick a lot, and plus all my routines have changed. Now the kids are off as well for the summer, so I'm much busier. And I really didn't get to do much of the things that I would normally do for myself. So, it's at that time of life as well. My kids are young. And I also had a teen, and she went through state exams. She had the pre-exams, and then she had the real exams. So my life has been super, super, super busy. And so, of course, when life gets super busy, sometimes we lose track of ourselves and we don't take care of ourselves, and our energy can dip, And for me personally, when I don't look after my food as well, I really am conscious about it. I'm very aware of it. As I've said earlier, I'm vegetarian since I was 11, so I was always a very conscious eater. Not in the fact that I was worried about weight. It was never like that. It was just, I always saw food as an energy-giving, fuel, and this is something I've spoke about a lot on this channel and on my Facebook page, So it was only right that really I get back into juicing. Now, have I quit caffeine? Absolutely not. I'm still drinking caffeine in the morning because I'm under no illusion that I cannot just cut it out just like that. So if there's anybody else out there who wants to give up caffeine, or if they want to go on a juicing cleanse, or just want to get healthier for energy, I just want to say to you that from my own experience, I like to do things in steps. So what I have done is I've had my cappuccino or my coffee in the morning, whichever you have out there, and I haven't felt guilty about that. I'm having it, and then I will have my juice as well during midday, and I'll have a small bit of salad with that, and if I feel peckish, I will go and eat some fruit, and then I'm having a proper main meal. So this is this week. Now, I haven't been taking pictures, or I haven't done any videos, because the simple fact is, to be totally honest about it, everything I've done hasn't been very pretty, hasn't been very glamorous, and I just felt this week, and even maybe next week, I just want to really focus on getting in tune with myself, not worrying about putting it out there to the world, worrying about what my salad looks like on a plate, how my juice is looking in a glass. I just really want to get myself in tune with my food again, and to be able to build my energy levels up. And to get to a point where I know that when I'm expressing to you and showing my food, or if I decide to take a picture of my lunch, we'll say, or take a picture of a salad, that the energy behind that is full. I really want to express, if I do decide to share that on Instagram or Facebook or here on YouTube, I want to show that for the best that it is, and also showing how it works, But anyway, so the way it has been going for me is I haven't been totally 100% healthy this week. I wouldn't say that, but I am very proud of myself for adding in a juice a day. And I think once I start doing that, I will start to feel my energy levels going up. Also making sure that I'm doing my meditation at night and writing down how I'm feeling at the end of the day. Now, from my last experience, what I will say, when I recorded it here on YouTube, if you go back into my videos, I had stopped meditating for a while because the kids were young, and I'd stopped juicing, and I'd fell off the yoga track as well. And I had started bringing it all in slowly but surely. And I can tell you, you could see from those videos that my energy skyrocketed. And I can tell you I was getting very little sleep because I had 2 children under 2 at the time. So now my 2 kids are under, we'll say under 4, because Rose is 3 and Alexander is 2. And I have a teenager as well, which is 15. But anyway, yeah, life. And what I noticed was, because I want to speak about triggers and emotions, also is when I stopped all the different times of the day that I was using caffeine to keep me going. Because I have to be honest, there was a lot of days where I've just been snacking on foods or eating leftovers to just get me through the day, because I was so busy with the kids, because it was gone into 6 days a week where my husband was working. And to be honest, I was feeling a bit triggered that I couldn't spend more time doing my YouTube videos, or spend more time doing the things that I like to study, like mindfulness and meditating. And like, I never was at a stage since I had the young kids that I was meditating all day, but there were certain moments of the day where I would practice mindfulness, and I just felt that I was getting really at a point where things were not sticking for me, that when the diet went out of whack, when I started giving into eating more chips, we'll say, like you see in the States, and we'll say here in Europe, crisps, and just eating a lot of more junk food, basically, a lot of more processed food, that my energy levels just dropped. And not only that, I was getting triggered a lot more as well. I was getting a little bit more crankier. I could notice that my mood was going down, my energy was dropping in my videos. So it was really time for me to really do a real recall on myself and to just start implementing something small to get me started. So that's what it was this week. It was just really drinking a juice a day, cutting down a little bit of the caffeine, but not totally cutting it out completely. And not only that, we've been getting a heat wave here in Ireland, which we're not used to. It's been super, super hot. So it's been very easy for me not to be worrying about eating so much. And the kids as well, they've been turning more into colder food. So there hasn't been a whole lot of major cooking. So even though I have been cooking soups for the kids and they've been having them cold instead of warm, things like that, but nothing really will say like that you'd be eating very heavy food. So I've been lucky in that sense. So I think by next week I should really be getting into a more of a stronger mode, where I could add more buckwheat to my diet, quinoa, or a little bit more grains, like that, cleaner grains, and then maybe add some salad with it. Instead of having it warm, we'll say stir fried, I could add salad with that instead. So when I decide to do something like that, that will be something I'll take a picture of, because that'll be something that I'll be implementing for myself, that I see as a cleaner food, And if we're just totally honest about it, I haven't been doing that this week. I've been really just, doing stir fries, and if there was any major cooking, like I said, doing some soups. The only major change this week was the juicing. But what I have found was that from the juicing, and just been really mindful about how I'm feeling after the juice, a lot of emotions started to come up. And I found this as well the last time I started juicing and the other times prior. It's like a real release, and some stubborn emotions came up that I'd had from the past, and I started to really reflect on it, and to start to really start to let that go. So I just want to say to anybody out there who is thinking of juicing or who is thinking of cleansing, be very aware that when we start to cleanse the body, we also cleanse the mind. And the thing is, everything in the mind comes out in our body. And I think it's the same when we start, getting busy with life, and we become unaware, and we become unconscious of what we're eating or what we're feeling, and we start to numb the emotions sometimes with food, or with say drinking, or with smoking, whatever it is, or we start to numb our own voice from speaking up about certain things that we want to speak up about. Well, I can tell you what I found this week is I became a lot more verbal, and I had to really start getting conscious about it, because things were just flying out of my mouth, things that I wasn't happy with in my life. And I just really said to myself, okay, this is definitely a symptom of releasing and letting go. And also my husband, he's working 5 days now instead of 6, so I suppose the body as well started to relax a little bit, so all the pressure started to lift off the shoulders, to lift out of the body, and to kind of slightly cleanse out as well. And also the mind started to release all the different emotions. Sorry, I'm just looking out here because the kids are gone with my husband to the park, and I'm just quickly trying to get this video done while it's peaceful and quiet before they get back. But what I did start to notice was that we can become triggered by certain things, especially I think when our food is weaker. Well, for me personally, or if we don't get enough rest, more importantly, I think we really have to be mindful about really relaxing the body, eating, even if we can't change our diet all straight away, maybe just changing out the salt, eating organic, adding more salads, especially this time of the year. If it's summer in your country, it is a little bit easier, I think, to do that. Whereas here, when it's winter in Ireland, it's very hard to just juice. I usually go for more soups, for the winter if I'm doing a cleanse, and then maybe try and add in more kind of warmer, we'll say smoothies, maybe do like a warm almond milk with some maca powder and chocolate, something more, we'll say something more warming and more comforting for the soul, and at the same time knowing that it's doing me well. But I've done a lot of these recipes before on my channel, if you want to go back and watch them, where I made some chocolate bliss balls. I've done some, I think, cauliflower rice. I've done a lot of things like that. The videos were pretty long, just to make you aware. But anyway, everything is going well. I would say I'm happy with my progress. I'm not perfect. I'm not expecting to be, but I'm delighted that I've put in the effort, and that I'm feeling the emotions coming out. I'm not pushing them away. I'm not numbing them. I'm just letting them be. And if I feel like I have something to say, I'm saying it. I'm not being angry at anybody. I'm not hitting a pillow or anything like that. But I am definitely, just really feeling it in the body. And if the body feels a bit tense, I'm letting myself feel that. And bathing is so important as well, when we're releasing emotions, or we're releasing we're releasing toxins out of the body. Bathing, is lying in a bath with Epsom salts, or even some Himalayan pink salt, anything just to really help the toxins to come out of the body. Also, foot baths are amazing. If you don't have an actual bath, then just get yourself a basin of water, put in your Epsom salts, and put some lavender in there if it's in the evening, and really just let all that energy out through the feet. I really am a firm believer of grounding. So even I've upped my ante with the with oils and things as well. I believe in, when I do something like this, I like to add in a lot of essential oils as well. I even have a grounding oil here on my wrists, to remind me. And I think the greener we eat, the cleaner we eat, the more grounded we become. And that's exactly what I'm looking for. Because what I feel for me is I'm over caffeinated at the moment, so I've become jittery. And I've lost my clarity. I felt like that, okay, not 100% clarity, but I lost my groundedness. I lost my footing, we'll say. So this is where adding in more greens and more juices and more salads can really help us to just really become grounded again. So anyway, that's it really. And emotions as well. It helps us to release them without feeling guilty. I think there's nothing worse if you feel some pent up emotion, or if you're feeling how would you say, a little bit pissed off with yourself because your diet has gone wrong, and not because of weight or anything, but just because we'll say you want to be cleaner and you want to be more, have more clarity. To let that out, feel it, but release it. Don't hold on to it. But it's very hard to let it go, I think, sometimes, if you're repeating the pattern, and as I say, I haven't let go of all, excuse me, my caffeine, or haven't let go of, we'll say I haven't been 100% clean in my diet. But the fact that I've implemented the juice, I can pat myself on the shoulder and say, well done, keep going. And I think the more you do that, the more you'll actually move up the steps, we'll say. You move up the stairs a bit. Because, and plus, the more you do, the more results you see. So I haven't started bringing in my yoga into it yet. I do yoga here and there, but my purpose is that I want to get a routine of doing that every night. And to be honest with you, since I had my kids, that fell away because I was just so busy with them. And especially now because it's summer, sometimes it's 10 p.m. before they go to sleep because it's so bright outside. So, taking all these things into account, and my lifestyle and the way my family is at the moment, there's only so many hours in the day. So all I can do is what I can do. So the mindful breathing in the morning, adding a juice in for this week, and then next week maybe upping my game with my food, and maybe cutting out the caffeine completely. So, all these little steps. So anyway, I'm just sharing all this with you because if there's anybody out there who wants to clean up their diet who wants to feel more energy. I think one little step at a time, every week, maybe switch something out or add something in that's going to really benefit you. And also, what I wanted to say as well is that I went back as well to my spirulina with the chlorella, the wheatgrass. That's a powder that I was using in the past. So I use a teaspoon of that daily in my green juice. And sometimes I add beet as well in there. So that's very purifying for the blood and it's very cleansing. You'll also be going to the restroom a little bit more when you add powders like that. They're kind of green algae, basically. They're broken down into powder to really boost your juices or your smoothies and to really help to release the toxins out of the body a little bit more gently, to just help you along, to move it along a little bit more smoothly, as we say. But anyway, yeah, so I forgot to say that I added that in as well. And I also love to add some flower essences. And I had a flower essence since I'd say, I don't know how many months now. It was, it's not a Bach one, it's actually by somebody else. I will check the name of it. But it's also for confidence, because I think when we start to do something new, whether it's a diet or a new exercise, or if we go into a new job, or if we're learning something new, there's nothing wrong with adding something in like a flower essence or maybe an essential oil that's going to help you boost your confidence. It's like a little, I like to call it a little reminder, that you've got this and you can do it, So, that's something to keep in mind, something that can remind you to keep you on your path, to hold your vision, to keep you strong, when you want to start cleansing or in any area of your life. It's always good to have something that's going to remind you and something you enjoy using. So anyway, that's been my update. A lot of emotions coming up for me. I feel like there was a lot of things. I had a lot of pent-up energy from just feeling a little bit restrained for the past few months, not being able to do as much as I wanted. But at the same time, understanding and releasing the emotions, releasing all that, and knowing that that was my life, and I wouldn't be where I am right now without all of these things happening. And maybe I wouldn't be doing this cleanse, So things like this, they kind of further us on our path. And maybe there's somebody out there who needed a video like this. And maybe this is the perfect timing for them to find me and we can do this together. So if there are any other moms out there or any other people out there who are struggling or who are finding it hard, maybe you're working a full-time job and you're lacking energy, maybe you can start, to maybe add a juice a day and maybe clean up your diet and start looking in your food press, taking out a couple of things that you feel could be making you maybe jittery, like me, it was definitely caffeine, or removing sugars from your diet, and kind of researching. And of course, I'll be sharing definitely more tips and tricks along in my videos as well. Maybe not on Mindful Mondays, maybe a separate video, but I can't promise anything a whole lot right now because my life is just super busy and I really doing as much as I can, so if I get a picture up on Instagram, that's great. If I don't, I don't. I'm just going to do what I can do because I really want to do as well as I can, and I want to share all the best moments, and also be honest of the moments that weren't so great, hence why I'm telling you exactly what happened this week. And going into the new week now, today's Monday, I just want to see how I go, add in maybe more salads, as I say, cut out the caffeine completely and see how I go. And maybe on Friday or on Sunday of this week, I will give you a highlight of what it's like to be without caffeine, how tired I'm feeling, if I'm getting headaches. I'd like to be able to share that with you, especially if there's anybody else out there who's wants to give up caffeine, whether it's teas or coffees or maybe caffeinated fizzy drinks. It can be relevant for anybody. So anyway, guys, that's my update. And I suppose really this Mindful Monday video is more about diet and everything else. But I suppose what I really want to get through is I invite you this week, whatever emotions you have, whatever triggers you have, to really look at them and feel them through. And try and not numb them with food or with drink or whatever it is, maybe distracting yourself with the internet, really just feeling it through and maybe writing it down and asking yourself, why are you triggered by this? Like for me, as I said, I really didn't need to write it down because I knew what my story was. I was just really exhausted, you know, from the past few months, and I just fell into the trap that if I had the caffeine that I'd get through it, you know. And then sure, when you slip like that, it's like one thing to the other. It is with me anyway, you know. If I let the ball drop in one area, then it's going to drop somewhere else, you know. But hey, I'm not going to, you know, beat myself up for it. I'm human, you know, and so are you. So, you know, if we do drop the ball here and there, that's grand. The most important thing is that we use our mindful, conscious awareness to get back on the horse and to get back on track. So my wishes for you this week is wherever your triggers are or your emotions are, to feel them, write them down if you have to figure out why you're falling back into the trap. And it could be something as well, that maybe you're overworked or you're tired, so maybe you need to change something. And I also want to add as well that my husband is only working the 5 days now, so this was something I had to really communicate with him as well, you know, that I was feeling so overwhelmed, you know, with him working 6 days. So, you know, this really wasn't just about diet. There was a lot more in it, you know. So there was a lot of communication done as well. And really, if you have emotions, or if you have triggers in your life, or if you've something you need to communicate, it's very important to speak up. And I know sometimes everything's not going to happen straight away. Like with my husband, I had to be patient. I had to wait, you know, until he found the correct job and he was happy there, you know, and I supported him 100%. But at the same time, I knew that it was going to all work out, you know. But in saying that, I was pretty exhausted from it. And it wasn't really just from him. As I said, the kids were sick. There was chickenpox here for a month. My daughter had exams. And there was all other things going on, you know, things for myself that I wanted to be doing. And sometimes, you know, life can just get a little bit hairy, you know, and we just can't do it all. As simple as that. And I think that was a big thing for me as well. It was just admitting I am human. I cannot do this on my own. I cannot do it all. And even today, oh my goodness, I hope this video isn't too long. Even today, my washing machine broke. You know, I was just like, fuck, what else can happen? You know, I had this shitload of clothes that I need to wash. And I knew I had my Mindful Monday video to do. And I was like, crap, like what else can happen? You know, it's just been one thing after another. And then I said, hey, look, not letting this trigger me. You know, I just said what I was feeling. You know, I went into the kitchen. I was on my own. The kids were playing in the pool outside, a little paddling pool, not an actual swimming pool. And I just went in, you know what? And I said, fuck it. You know, I'm so fed up. I just released it. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get the washing done. What can I do? Basically, I have to get this sorted. So I need to get in contact with my landlord to be able to get the plumber here, because here in Ireland, when you're renting, it's actually the responsibility of your landlord to fix appliances when they break down, which is good in one way, but in another way it's not, because at least if it's your own house, or I know in certain countries that you buy your own appliances when you rent a home, you know, so it's your responsibility. So I was kind of contemplating today, saying, you know what, it'd be nearly better if it was my own machine, because I could just actually buy a new one. Because sometimes with landlords, you know, they're just going to fix it and then it could break again a couple of weeks later. And to be totally honest, I'm just done with this machine because it has broke so many times before. Hence why I'm on about triggers. So what I've decided now is I'm going to be very mindful when I speak to him. I'm going to speak very calmly and with clarity, and just really state that I need a new washing machine. There's no ifs, buts about it, you know, because it's not, in fairness, it's not the first time this has happened. And now it's just got worse, where it was like basically just switching the whole, or all our electricity off. Basically, it was like a trip switch. You know, the minute I put on the machine, the minute we go to spin cycle, the whole of our sockets would switch off. And so that means the kids' TV would switch off if they were watching something. My daughter, if she was in the hot shower, everything was switching off. So it was just really stressful, and that's been going on now all day long. So, and I've just loads of clothes to wash. But anyway, I'm getting through it, I know, and I just thought it was something funny, maybe to just add into the video, because I'm sure there's people out there that have things wrong in their house too, and can annoy them or trigger them. So just to let you know, you're human, and I feel you, and I just want to be transparent and share everything. You know, these are the things that really piss me off. I have to be honest. I'm a woman of routine. I like to have a nice routine where I can just get through my day, you know. And when things like that happen, that's fair enough if it's a once off. But if it's a repeating pattern, you know, and somebody is going to come and fix it, and then it happens again. You know, if it was my machine, I would just take it out and buy a new one. That's it, you know, deal with it. You know, I'm just that type of person. I don't like to just be wasting my time, basically, turning on switches to have my electricity going again. Anyway, I don't know how this came across. It's probably like a rant more than anything. But sure, I'm expressing my emotions again, once again. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a fantastic Monday. And I want to say a special thank you as well. I was on a live stream last night. I can't remember the name of the lady. I'll put her channel below. And she had so many awesome people on there that subscribe to my channel. So I really want to say thank you to all of my new subscribers. And I've also subscribed to your channels. And I hope this video wasn't too long for you all. And I hope somebody got something out of it. And if you're having a day of triggers or emotions, or if you're cleansing, or if you want to give up caffeine, please comment below, whatever it is. I know that we all say that we have to keep it positive and, you know, we have to stay high vibes and all of this. But the truth of the matter is, you know, some days life is shit and we have to release it in order to raise the vibration again. That's the way I look at it. If we keep it all in, then, you know, it's just going to stay suppressed and, you know, you can't be positive all the time then, you know. The only way we can be positive is if we face things head on and we just let it out basically as well, I think. But anyway, guys, look, I invite you this week to share any triggers or any shit moments you've had this week or any amazing moments you've had this week. If you have been great with your diet, or if you've been juicing, or if you have anything else you want to share, like you're doing some personal development or you're doing well in that, please share as well, you know. And also, I'm reading an amazing book, not reading, listening to an audio. I found an amazing woman here on YouTube, and she's all about presence, all about mindfulness, and she actually runs a course called Mindfulness University. Her name is Veronica Cresto, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. What an amazing lady, an absolute breath of fresh air. I couldn't believe how much I resonated with her. Now, in saying that, I'm a lot more, I'd say, kind of livelier or maybe a bit louder, but you know, I just love the way she speaks. She's so soothing and she's so relaxing to listen to her. And her book is called The Diamond Process, and it's absolutely amazing. It's on her website. So if you're looking for her, if you're into mindfulness or if you're into meditation, or into presence and conscious awareness, this is a channel, especially for women, I think. You know, I'm not so sure for men. I think this channel is more geared for women. So if you're a woman and you want to up your game on your presence and your mindfulness, that is definitely a channel worth checking out. I don't know where she's been all my life, and she's got about 18,000 subscribers. I'm just shocked. I think this woman should have 1 million subscribers. She's absolutely amazing, guys. So please check her out. Veronica Cresto is her name. So anyway, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. And my message for the week is share whatever you're feeling right now. Positive, negative, it's welcome. I honor your presence and own it and let it go. And if it's good, suck it up and do more of it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to give you a great big kiss. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And as always, thank you for your presence. Your presence matters as much as mine. Bye for now.